is Bronze and Modern Gods. It is bonus episode time. And guess what? I'm John, and you can hear
Richard.
Oh my God. I can hear you, the audio. Everybody, let's hear it for Richard.
Decided to upgrade my my equipment here in the Brown household. So hopefully the audio issues we've been having for the last couple of episodes are over with.
Well, I am so excited. If you're excited, make sure you're following us at Facebook and Instagram at Bronze and Modern Gods. Make sure you like this video. Today, it is a bonus episode. Questions, comments, the Instagram Market Watch with Ali from Elite_Comics11. And right now, let's get right to it. It's been a couple weeks. It's viewer mail.
You've got mail.
Richard, you start us off.
Okay. My first piece of viewer mail is from Pure Comic Collector. Another great video, guys. Thank you so much. I always enjoy you guys' take on the current state of affairs in comics, movies, and trends. Speaking of trends, I've noticed the NFT segment has gone to the wayside very similarly to the quality of Veve's recent drops.
Correlation, perhaps?
Completely agree with you, John, on the picks for drops. Whomever the supreme Veve picker is needs to be fired. The last few drops have not been very good. I haven't bought a Veve book in over 3 months.
Wait, you're not excited about Uncanny X-Men 170, first appearance of the Morlocks?
I feel like they get 2 lists they can pick from. You can pick one from the good list, but then you got to balance it by 3 from the bad list. Because, they pick keys, and the keys are there, but then they pick random books that just don't make any sense.
I think there's a few reasons why the comic book NFT watches has gone on, let's say it's gone on hiatus. How's that?
That's
the drops are underwhelming, to be polite. The app itself, when's the last time you were able to get a drop? It's just impossible now. The user base is increased so much, and yet the drop quantity has stayed the same or even less. I mean, it used to be 60K. Now some of them are super limited to 10K. I'm flabbergasted, and I am speechless as to some of the decision making happening. We don't know who's picking these. We don't know if it's Veve. We don't know if it's Marvel licensing limiting to something. Whoever's picking them doesn't know about comic books. I'm just gonna say it. It's weird. It's just bizarre. I still go back to the first appearance of Red Wolf. It's like, what? Or that X-Men issue that they picked because it was Thanksgiving.
There are enough keys in Marvel's catalog that you could pick 2 a week for 3 years and still not run out of things to actually pick. To have to intersperse them with random, X-Men issues that have very little meaning to the majority of the fan base. This doesn't make any sense to me.
And not for nothing, we were promised OpenSea and MTL and Cash Out back in March of 2021. It's still coming #soon. But now they're kind of backtracking and saying, well, that's not what this app was about. This app was never about being able to cash out and take these NFTs to another platform. That's not what you said earlier. So that, am I bullish on NFTs as a concept still? Absolutely. I think there's a lot to have to offer there. Do I think there is an opportunity for someone else to come into this space and do something? Sure. All right. Let me go to my first piece of viewer mail from a good fan of the show, Lee Neeren. And if you guys wonder why we keep picking the same people to read comments from, because they ask good questions. Yeah. We're not playing favorites. They just ask good questions. Lee writes, typically I understand why newsstand variants are more than direct version comics in terms of value. However, Moon Knight from 1980 should be the opposite, because in the early 80s, direct versions were far less than newsstands were. That is correct. The first year of direct market was 1979. They were about 5 to 6% of the total print run. I'm wondering why the newsstand would go for more, and so much more, as you said, than a direct version. In fact, in 1980, 90% of all comics were newsstand, while direct was only 10% of the market. That is true. Can you please explain why the newsstand goes for so much more? It should clearly be the opposite. Well, Lee, this is, as always, my opinion, and your mileage may vary. Newsstand was more of the print run, but they were preserved much less than people who were buying them from the direct market. The direct market people were nerds like us. They were obsessive like us. They got on their bikes or got in their cars and drove to a specific store that sold only comic books. That was a small portion of the print run. However, those are the ones that are in the better condition. People that bought them off the newsstands were collectors, but they were mostly readers, and they were reading the books, and they didn't care if it had one or two spine ticks, and they didn't threw it in a box. Maybe they bagged and boarded it. So I think it really comes down to what survived most in the mintiest, crispiest condition. What do you think, Richard?
I think that's definitely true. I also think though, as a concept, newsstands is more of a representation of that pristine, quality of those books.
Yeah.
People don't realize there's that shift over period. They just see newsstand and they think, okay, well then that means it's rare in this condition, and that's what they gravitate to.
Yeah, they get pumped. They see that and they're like, "Oh, it's a newsstand," and they don't take into account the percentage of newsstand at the time when the book was out. So yeah, the answer is we don't know. We have some ideas, but the market decides. All right,
Yeah,
Richard, you got another one from another longtime fan of the show.
yeah, Vexor 4000.
Glad you're
Uh,
feeling better, Vexer, by the way.
yes, I'm glad, definitely glad. Another cool Doom cover that's really affordable, even at a 9.8, is Fantastic Four 268. Love that cover. Yeah, that is an awesome cover. Uh, there are several examples of books that are still under $100 for a good quality raw. If you're a Doctor Doom fan, you don't have to go for the Fantastic Four number 5. You don't need to go to the Marvel superheroes number 20. There are a number of just good quality. I actually have one right here.
Uh-oh. We have show and tell.
Yeah, here's a really nice Doom cover.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah, it's Doom fighting the Thing. I paid 55 bucks for this on a Elite Comics 11 auction this past week.
And
So
he's off the surfboard, yet still has the powers.
it's a great. I love this cover. It's that this the depth of the color. You just can't replicate that nowadays. Anyway, yeah, the cover that you mentioned is definitely 268 is definitely a great cover. But even these Silver Age books, you could still find for a reasonable amount of money if you're a Doom fan.
All right, my next piece of viewer mail is from Otme or Otme or Otme, O-T-M-I. Hi, Otme. My resolution for the year is to acquire the second appearances of some major characters. One of the books I got so far was Tales of Suspense 53, the second Black Widow. I figured this was a good time to buy this one, given her status in the Marvel Universe. Was this a good purchase? And also, what do you think about my strategy overall? Thanks. Well, thank you, Otme, for asking. Second appearances used to be a bigger deal when we were coming up, because you couldn't afford the first appearances on your allowance back then. So, getting that number 2 of Nova or the second appearance of, I don't know, what's a good example? Black Widow. It
Yeah.
used to be a bigger deal, and then it kind of fell by the wayside as the decades rolled on. But I see it coming back now because we're at a point now where there's big money from people from Wall Street, Blackstone, investors that are buying these blue chip comics, the Hulk 181s of the world, the giant size X-Men number 1s, to the point where they're 7 digits now. Not 7, maybe 6 digits. 6 or 7, if it's high grade. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the casual, the new fan is just priced out. So I think this is a sound strategy. Do you like it? Do you want and I'm open. Do you like the book? Do you like Black Widow? That's the key. Buy what you like. I know we say it all the time, but it's true.
Yeah, I've really warmed up to this whole concept. First appearances, especially classic Marvel heroes, are just unreasonably expensive nowadays. X-Men number 1, for example. it's just unreasonable to be able to afford something like that. I'm a big Namor Submariner fan. His first appearance in the Silver Age is Fantastic Four #4, which even in the low grade is a multi-thousand-dollar
Yeah.
book. His second appearance is in Fantastic Four #6, which is much more affordable, and it's also the first supervillain team up with Doctor Doom.
Wink, wink.
So there's a double whammy. What I also like to pick up, if you because even sometimes a second appearance could be expensive, look for the first solo cover appearance
Mm-hmm.
or the first solo series for that particular hero,
Yep.
because the numbers may be in your favor in terms of picking that up for a reasonable amount of money while you can, because you know those books are going to go up too. Just like John says, as these other books gets priced out of the market, people are going to gravitate towards the things that can they
We've
can.
seen some examples of second appearances being really desirable in Richard's world. For example, Shazam #28 is actually the second appearance of Black Adam.
Yes,
That first appearance is absolutely out of reach for the average collector. Marvel Family #1 from the 40s. So, what's that?
not me.
You're welcome. But it's happening already. Will it continue? I do think so. And this is a great segue to your next piece of viewer mail.
Yeah, my next piece of mail is from our good friend Evan Nave.
Speak for yourself.
We have to have Evan back on the show. I think we were due
Sure.
for another. Evan says, "Don't forget the Black Adam footage too, Marvel kids."
What did you think about that?
Uh it's never they are teasing us because what they give us is so small. It's enough to get a taste, but you never get to satisfy that urge. So it may be intentional, the little they give us. They very slowly have gotten to the point finally now where you can see all of the Rock, you can see the costume on him, and the man doesn't need any padding. That man is he's two men inside of that outfit. It looks awesome, and everything around the Justice Society that they're building also looks incredible. Doctor Fate looks amazing. I'm a huge Pierce Brosnan fan, so I can't wait to see him doing this. Adam Smasher looks awesome. Hawkman looks awesome. It's so far I have goosebumps. I think DC has an opportunity to put out a movie that's going to rival Doctor Strange and these other Marvel movies. So let's cross our fingers and
I,
hope.
I do see it as a turnaround. I'm excited about Black Adam, and I have not been excited about a DC movie ever. At the same time, you have the Batman with Robert Pattinson, and I'm like, yawner. We got to see this again. How many times can we see Bruce Wayne's parents get killed? Before we become desensitized to it. Oh, here comes the pearl necklace falling on the ground. And again, I know I say this all the time, and so humor me. I'm glad to see a color palette.
Yes, yes. Yes, it's instead of being dark and gloomy, and you have to watch the movie with the lights
It,
all the way off so that you can actually see what's going on.
it's not raining in the Black Adam trailer. So that's two pluses for me. I just, it's so frustrating to me as a fan of some of these DC Universe characters, how the DC Universe TV shows on HBO Max, not the CW stuff. The HBO Max stuff is just eating the lunch
Oh yeah,
of the movies. It should be the other way around.
Peacemaker is killing it.
Doom
If you haven't
Patrol,
watched,
Peacemaker.
yeah, if you haven't watched either one of those, they're just great shows. Check them out.
I mean, grab the people who are in charge of the TV shows and put them in charge of the movies, please.
Well, see, there are passion projects like um, the Deadpool was a passion project for Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds. He campaigned for years to make that movie, and it finally took this accidental release of a trailer to get things kicked off. But he's nailed that movie. It's a franchise now. Uh, the Rock has it's a passion project for him. He's tried for years to get the ability to do a Black Adam as a character. Finally managed to get the go ahead, and I think he's going to take full advantage of it. And this man does not do things halfway.
No, you kind of wish Ryan Reynolds had brought that passion to Green Lantern. Um,
It's a growing process, you know.
which, by the way, I didn't hate Green Lantern like I hate some DC movies. I don't hate any of them. They could be better. Let me put it that way. But yeah, I think Green Lantern got a bad rap. Am I alone?
You know what? I saw it when it came out. It's been so long, I
Hmm.
can't remember my opinion of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, our last piece of viewer mail for this week is from David S., and he's writing about our mega three-part interview with Chuck Rosansky from Mile High Comics. And David writes, "Thank you. Really insightful series of interviews." Well, thank you. At one point, it started reminding me of those great Comics Journals interviews I used to read back in the day.
Oh,
David, you made our week with that comment because that was the goal. Chuck's been interviewed so many times by so many people. We really tried to go in a different direction with it and give you guys something you perhaps had not heard before or not seen before if you're watching on YouTube. I think we accomplished a little bit of that. And the comments were almost overwhelmingly positive, so we appreciate that. We did a three-parter because we thought it deserved a three-parter, and the view counts and the comments kind of backed us up, so we felt good about that. So we do appreciate that comment, and thank you all very much. And more interviews to come. You'll be surprised at some of them that are coming up, and hopefully you will be engaged. And if you're not subscribed, you'll hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, Richard.
hit it now.
All right, what do you say? We bring on our good friend Ali from Elite_Comics11 for yet another visit with the Instagram Market Watch. Ta- 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 ta. Here he is now from Elite_Comics11 on Instagram. It is Ali. Ali, what is up?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
We're doing great.
Uh, you're not. I almost cursed. You're not screwing around. Well, that's still cursing. You're not messing around this week, are you? I'm looking at this week's books, and well, okay. Let's first of all remind everybody what you do.
Yeah, so we're Elite Comics 11. We are the Instagram's premier consignment page. So we help people sell and buy their books. So check us out. It's at Elite_Comics 11. So you guys let us come on pretty regularly to share a few of the sales from our page. So let's jump right into it. The first one that we're going to feature, a sale that happened via Elite, Invincible Iron Man #9. This was a CGC 9.8. This is the variant, the first sold for $3,300.
Yeah, the 90-day GPA for that is $4,100. So
Good
that's a
deal.
deal. Oh, I want this book. You know,
You don't have it.
I don't. When it was still reasonable, it was like, oh, I'll buy that later, kind of thing. Yeah, there's
I'm
another story
shocked.
for you.
I
Buy it when it's in front of you, not.
I would have sworn you had a short box full of them running around to every comic shop in Ashtabula, Ohio.
I wish. It's a great pickup at the price. I think that book is a solid buy. It's a rare book, and a 9.8 it's even more rare. So
I'm not going to make
congratulations.
a dad joke about rare Riri. All right, what's the next one?
All right, here's a big one. First Wolverine, Incredible Hulk #181, CGC 9.2, sold via Elite for $12,500.
That's a great price. The 90-day average is 13,196. So it's another great buy. This book is just solid gold. You can't go wrong buying a Hulk 181. So again, kudos to the person who purchased this. A year from now, it's going to be worth another 5 grand, I bet.
We've
It's
been down.
interesting. It's not a scarce book. I mean, there was a warehouse find of this book at one point. Yeah, the copies are out there, but it is a good lesson for new people in the hobby about demand.
Yeah.
Usually supply and demand, that rule. This one just shatters that rule because people love them some Logan.
It's the same category as Amazing Spider-Man 300. It's not a rare book at all, but that 9.8 is just unbelievable. And even the lower grades are disproportionately valued,
Who doesn't love Wolverine?
right?
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 Absolutely.
And it is a tough book to get a blue label on. I will say that because of the Marvel value stamp. Guilty. When I was a kid, I want to collect them all. The ones I
I don't
cut.
regret cutting this out.
I didn't cut out the first series. I cut out the second series because they were puzzles, and I wanted to see what the puzzles were. So, sorry, everybody, when you get a book with that.
At one of our live sales the other day, somebody had the booklet that you would like collect all the Marvel value stamps you cut out. Thankfully, they flipped through it and they only found one inside, but there were so many other books that could have been.
That Marvel value stamp book was the Bored Ape Yacht Club of its time, because you were supposed to get all these benefits when you filled the book out and you got like discounts, and it never happened. So I'm not saying BAYC is the same thing, but I'm saying that. All right, what's your last book?
All right, the last book, it's an Amazing Fantasy 15, a CGC 2.0.
Was that all?
First appearance of Spider-Man. I mean, it's a massive book. Interesting wrinkle here. So at Elite Comics 11, we help people sell their books. Recently, we've allowed our sellers to offer cryptocurrency as accepted payment. So this was interesting because this one sold for $37,000 value, but part of that was actually Bitcoin. So that was a first. I mean, especially on an AF-15. So there was that interesting tidbit here on this sale.
And the GPA last sale was 38.4. So another good pickup. This book is just untouchable in terms of just acceleration of value. I made it my goal to get this book this year. It's just not going to happen because as I save money, the price continues to go up. So
you guys hear me on this podcast all the time saying things like, well, I used to have one and I sold it. I never had one of these. I wasn't a Spider-Man guy. And boy, I wish I was now that I look back. The crypto is here. We all saw the Super Bowl. I mean, Coinbase had the commercial for the Super Bowl that it's already won Clio's. I'm waiting for the day when someone tries to trade a Bored Ape for an Amazing Fantasy 15. So it's gonna happen.
We might get those DMs after this.
If you have an early mint Bored Ape, Ali's your guy. All right, Ali, remind everybody where you're at and where they can find you.
Yeah, if you need help selling a book, head over to @elite_comics11.
All right. Hopefully we will see you next Friday if Richard and I are not lazy.
Awesome.
No promises.
Thanks again. All right, and that is going to wrap it up for this week. But Richard, before we go, I do want to send out some really positive energy, some good thoughts to George Perez. I don't know if you guys have heard the news. He entered hospice treatment this week. Never a good thing to hear that, but this man was such a formative part of the Bronze Age of comics for both Marvel and DC. One of his biggest fans is Richard. I am a huge fan of his as well. The Project Pegasus run on Marvel 2-in-1 with my man Quasar, drawn by George Perez and John Byrne.
New Teen Titans with Marv Wolfman. That to me is my childhood.
Yeah, and we just really love him. It's so nice that he's getting to see some of the adulation and praise while he's still with us. So our thoughts go out to George Perez, his friends, and his family. So we want to leave you with that. And we will see you on Monday.
Yes, everyone stay safe.